Psalms chapter 84 and verse 10. For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. So one day in the kingdom of heaven is better than 1,000 of your best days on this side, man. Let me repeat that again. One single day in the kingdom of heaven is better than 1,000 of your best days on this side, man. Okay? When things were better for you. Moments that you could reminisce on and say, yeah, that was a good day. The kingdom of heaven blows it out the park, man. It blows it out the water. Just one day. Not to mention, the Heavenly Father, He's going to stretch out the time. He's going to expand the time so you can enjoy your immortality. You can enjoy your life. And the Lord said in Wisdom of Solomon, He created the Israelite man to be an image of His own eternity, man. We're going to be a likeness of His own eternity, man. We're going to be many most highs, man. We're going to be many most highs. Okay? Gods on earth under Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And also what's going to make us gods? These laws, statutes, commandments, and us judging by the laws, statutes, commandments, but also these laws being in our inward parts, making us those perfect judges. Not to mention, we experience these different reincarnations in this wicked flesh, so we know how to judge the flesh. We know how to judge this body because we've been in this body many times. Okay? But once again, the kingdom of heaven is going to be patterned after the mind of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. A righteous paradigm.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. All right, and what I want to get into this morning is dealing with my firstborn. Okay, dealing with, all right, the firstborn of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Okay, now the firstborn son, okay, is Yahushua. All right, and the firstborn nation is Israel, beginning with the first fruits. And we're going to get into these things. All right. Well, first, what I want to get into is to go into the understanding that this is a spiritual book. Okay, when you go into the Bible, there has to be a spirit, dealing with you to really understand these things, all right, that you read and that you hear. The spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that Rakakwadash, all right, has to be dealing in order to comprehend, all right, the things in this book. Because there's a lot of people, they're taking on themselves to study, dissect the Bible, when they come out confused, all right, conflicting narratives, okay, things that they take literal, supposed to be, symbolic, things that are symbolic, they try to take literal, okay, and trying to read this book without being guided by the Holy Spirit, all right, and the men that the Holy Spirit has set up to have you all over the place, man, okay? And you read certain things and it seems like it contradict, but you gotta, the Spirit gotta guide us through these things, man, okay? That's why in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, when you read, it says 2 and 10, it says, but the Most High have revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searcheth all things, deep things of the Most High. All right, let's read this in the NLT. It said, but it was to us that the Most High revealed these things by His Spirit. For His Spirit searches out everything and shows us God's deep secrets. Okay, even going into the mystery of the Gentiles, understanding what does that mean. Okay, because there was always prophecies about the Gentiles, coming unto Yahweh Bashem Shai. Okay, but before, our people, were dispersed, throughout these captivities, these things was a mystery. Okay, but now as we see our people have been scattered, taking on other cultures of these different societies, but their lineage through their father still goes back to Israel, all right, the seeds of promise. Okay, those are the Gentiles, spoken of in prophecy and in the New Testament. Okay, but it has to be a spirit dealing to unveil these things. Keep reading. Verse 11 says, "For what man knoweth the things of man, say the spirit of man, which is in him? Even so the things of the Most High knoweth no man, but the Spirit of the Most High." So let's read this in the NLT. 1 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, "No one can know a person's thoughts except a person's own spirit. And no one can know the Most High's thoughts except the Most High's own spirit." So when the Lord puts His Spirit, okay, on His men, okay, then those men begin to understand the thoughts of the Most High that He gave us to understand. Okay? Do we understand the whole reasoning of the Most High? No. His mind is unsearchable. But the portion that He gave us to understand, we fully understand it because He gave us the Spirit to understand, okay, hey, these spiritual things, these spiritual matters, man. All right, concerning the scriptures. It says, now we have, verse 12 says, now we have not received the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of the Most High, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Spirit teaching, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. And you read this in the NLT. When we tell you these things, we do not use words that come from human wisdom. Okay, a theological school. Okay, from these universities and Esau pseudoscience, and all this madness that Esau pushes. No, okay, we don't read the Bible as you see Sakari. He's pretty much, him and Deacon Hakai, they've gone so deep into studying from the aspect of an Edomite, through all these different commentaries that they try to make the Bible make sense, through a human wisdom, okay? Through human reasoning, the spirit not dealing. When they study, they're studying from the aspect of human reasoning. Okay, that's why they saying this is not valid. That's not valid. Uh, you know, Mark wasn't there. Luke. How do we know Luke know what he talking about? They're not all right. Being moved with the Spirit. They're not being guided with the Spirit when they go into the book. Okay, they're trying to make it make sense according to human, all right, or man's reasoning, man. Okay, but we have the Spirit that's guiding us, and also what's included in that Spirit is faith, man. There has to be a factor of faith, and that's what the Spirit gives us, well, a gift of faith. Okay, so keep reading on. It says, instead we speak words given to us by the Spirit, using the Spirit's words to explain spiritual truth. Okay, so we go precept upon precept, line upon line, all right, being guided by the Spirit, and the book breaks itself down. Okay, the book gives us the understanding. Okay, verse 15, it says, but people who aren't spiritual can't receive these truths from the Most High Spirit. It all sounds foolish to them, and they cannot understand it. For only those who are spiritual can understand what the Spirit means. So when we go into these accounts, into these different stories, we have to be guided by the Spirit. All right, and what we're going to deal with today is dealing with my firstborn. Okay, and going into this word, um, what's this word? Yeah, primogeniture. If I'm saying it right. All right, primogeniture, which we're going to get into that. Okay, now what we have to understand, all right, prophecy revolves around, okay, two nations of people, okay, who was born, all right, of Isaac, okay, and Rebecca, okay. So we're gonna get this story, which we always get into, okay, and we're gonna go into how we, all right, Israel was always the firstborn, okay, because you had this account when Esau, all right, um, and Jacob, which were twin brothers, and Esau came out first, which will make him, the firstborn in the flesh. Okay, but we're going to understand who's the firstborn in the spirit. Okay, because everything was predestinated before the foundation of the world. Okay, this is Genesis 25 and 20. It says, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. And it says, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Pandanaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, all right, his wife conceived. So Isaac, entreated, he prayed to the Lord, that his wife would receive seed, so she can bear children. Okay, because they was doing the do, all right, but it's at the end of the day, it's the Lord's will, okay, whether that seed, turns into, all right, children, all right, a child, okay. So he's inquiring of the Lord, and the Lord answered, and Rebekah was with child, okay. And you read this in the NLT. Isaac pleaded with the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was unable to have children. The Lord answered Isaac's prayer, all right, will be the centerpiece of all prophecy, okay, that play out in the earth, man. Okay, everything will revolve around these twin boys, man, Jacob and Esau. Okay, it says, and the children struggled together within her womb, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. Okay, so the children struggled within her womb, and there was a war. Pretty much these two children was at war, and it was symbolic to how, their interactions would be amongst each other in the earth. It would always be conflict and war. Okay, there'll be physical wars. Okay, and this time it's a spiritual wars. Okay, but these two seed, okay, will always be at war. Okay, that's how the Lord set up His movie. Hey, you see, and you go here. Let's get this in. I believe this in the book of Sirach. Show you that the Lord always, had this rivalry set up from the beginning. Okay, this is Sirach 33 and 10. It says, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created from the earth. Okay, because you go, through the lineage. All right, you go through Isaac and Abraham. They come through the lineage of Shem. All right, which was a survivor of the flood. A son of Noah. Okay, so you can trace the lineage of the earth population back to Noah through Shem, all right, Ham, and Japheth. All right, and Jacob and Esau, all right, they come, through Shem. Okay, but Jacob is the chosen. All right, it says, in much knowledge the Lord have divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have He blessed and exalted, and some of them have He sanctified and set near Himself. Okay, which is Israel. Okay, sanctified, separated. All right, because the Lord dealt with Israel. He deals with Israel okay, in an isolated way from the rest of these nations. Okay, he set Israel near himself, and we disobeyed to where we was put off. Okay, but that's why the scripture say he would yet choose Israel. Hey, you see, and set us by himself against this time eternal. Okay, he says, but some of them have he cursed, all right, and brought low and turned out of their places, all right, and this is Esau Edom, and this is ultimately his fate. Okay, as the clay is in the potter's hands to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liking him best, man. And he made Jacob, okay, to be the upright one. You go to Yasha 1, or you see in the Hebrew Jeshurun, they go into upright one. And that's how we're fashioned, okay? That's how we're fashioned. Now you have, we fell away, mingle amongst the heathen, learning their ways, in this latest captivity on the Esau Edom, we've been enchanted, okay, by the ways of darkness. All right, but the elect, the Lord has broken those chains of enchantments off the elect in this time, but you still see our people enchanted, but that ain't how we're made. We was made upright. Okay, the scriptures say how the ways of the righteous are more excellent than his neighbor. All right, but the wicked seduceth him. Okay, which our people have been seduced and enchanted into being what they are today. Okay, but you go into how we're fashioned upright. Okay, and you can still see that amongst especially, older Jake, they just got this cool, little vibe, very, very chill, very agreeable, okay, respectable, mannerable. Okay, that's how Jake is made. But Esau, on the other hand, he is the wicked. All right, and he's always into some type of wicked invention to bring death about, man. Some type of deception. Okay, and it's gonna go into that when we go into Genesis, man. All right, it says as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it as his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as he liketh him best. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. And that's the rivalry that you see between Jacob and Esau. Okay, is the godly is against the sinner, because Esau Edom is the man of sin. Okay, he's the man. He thrives in sin. All he knows is sin and to be adverse to righteousness. That's all this devil knows. You see, we fail, all right, from righteousness, man, because that's our nature, that's our spirit. Okay, is to be in peace. Okay, to dwell uprightly. Okay, we fail from that. All right, but this devil is made to be the wicked. Okay, and the scriptures say that his soul is not upright in him. Let's get that real quick. Okay, let's get that in Habakkuk 2, and we'll get that word. This is Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up, all right, he's proud, is not upright in him, but the just, going into Israel. So you see this precept, okay, is speaking of the dynamic of Jacob and Esau. The beginning is speaking of Esau. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay, which is the elect of Israel. In this time, we're living by our faith under the rulership. Okay, so you go into the word upright. Okay, which is in the Hebrew Yashar. Okay, Yashar. It says to be right. All right, to be straight, to be lawful, to be just, to be smooth, to be pleasing, to be agreeable. Okay, and that's who we are within our nature. And agreeable people. See, the enchantments that our people are under now, it come directly from, okay, the wicked. Okay, well, he has our people operating, in a very warlike, chaotic, dysfunctional way. Okay, but naturally, Jake is agreeable, man. Okay, y'all remember those family reunions back in the day, man, where Jake would just come and kick it, chill all day, man. Okay, or just the old neighborhood before. I always talk to people, older Jake, even some older women, and I asked them about, how it was before the crack hit, and they always say it was good times. Jake amongst themselves, and Jake, into the music. Okay, Jake is, the good food, the good cooking, you know, chilling, sipping, family. Okay, because Jake is an agreeable people by nature, man, peaceable people. All right, because that's how we was fashioned. When you go into this devil deed, this is everything that Esau's not. All right, it says to be straightforward. Okay, and we know this devil is everything but straightforward. Okay, but this is how he was fashioned. Going back here, okay, verse 13, Sirach 33 and 13, as the clay, all right, which represent people, is in the potter's hand, which is the Most High, to fashion it at his pleasure. So man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liking him best. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. And this is the greatest example in Genesis 25, the godly against the sinner, okay, and one being set against another. This is how the Lord played it out. Okay, this is the Lord's movie, and you in the spirit, you can see these things. Okay, and this is why that tension remains, all right, between these two nations, all right, until this day. To this day. Okay. So yeah, let's get Genesis 25 and 21. It says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together, and said as within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, all right, which was through a prophet. Okay, it says, and the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people, the godly and the sinner. Okay, the sons of God and the man of sin were in the same womb. Okay, it says, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And who was the elder? Esau, Edom. He would come out first. Okay, as we're going to get into. All right, and who's the people that are stronger? All right, the younger, okay, which was Jacob. Okay, and he was younger in this reincarnation, but in the spirit, Jacob is truly the elder, which we're going to get into. All right, but for the sake of controversy, the Lord had this account to play out how it played out, because it's still playing out to this day. Everything that we see the elites doing, okay, they're doing it based on going back to this story, dealing with the birthright. This whole NWO and biometrics and merging humans with technology. It goes back to this story. Okay, it's all rooted in this story here, which we're going to show. And it says, verse 24 says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there was twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they call his name Esau. Okay, so it describes Esau's appearance. When he was born, he said he was red. All right, all over like a hairy garment. It doesn't mean that he was hairy. Okay, he said he was the color of a hairy garment. Okay, because he would die You know, you have to dye those garments, okay, in different dyes, okay. And Esau looked like a red garment, okay. He didn't have hair. He wasn't born hairy. You know, a little fur ball, okay. He was just the color of a red garment because why? His blood showed through his skin. Okay, he didn't have no melon, no pigmentation. That's why he's called Esau, which is Ashashua in the Hebrew, wasted away as he. When Isaac seen Esau, he said Ashashua, Ashashua. Okay, as if this baby is wasted away. He looked like death. You know, he like he was born dead. Okay, and also just showed the, you know, he will be walking death. Okay, in the earth, man. Okay, the scripture say he is as hell in that same scripture in Habakkuk, the same chapter, he is hell and he cannot be satisfied, man. Okay, and it says verse 26, and after that came his brother out. Okay, and why didn't they describe how his brother looked? Because his brother looked normal, Jacob. He looked like his parents, everyone else. Okay, and the Israelite man is able to produce anything, so you can produce. Okay, even in Esau science, you can go into it. Okay, but the Israelite man, he can produce any color. All right, he can produce anything through his seed. Okay, I don't know the science of it. You know, some brothers are probably more well versed in biology. You know, but I just know brothers, you know, speaking on it and vaguely hearing about it. All right, but Jacob looked like everyone else. He was normal. You know, that's why his appearance wasn't described. Okay, he says, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. All right, which that's symbolic. Okay, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. All right, which he was 60. So Jacob taking hold of Esau's heels was symbolic. Okay, Jacob. Okay, will pull Esau out of power and raise up in his place. Okay, the supplanter going to Jacob, going to Yaqub, okay, which is a supplanter, okay, or a liar in wait, okay, and then the spirit, our hand is on this devil's heels because the heel represents the end of a man, okay, the end of an empire. All right. Matter of fact, let's get that in the GNT, okay. It explains it, you know, as Edris is breaking this down. All right, this is being broken down to Edris, all right, by the angel. Okay, let you know that this is from the heaven. This understanding of these things come from the heaven because this is an angel, you know, breaking these things down to Esdras. This second Esdras, all right, 6 and 7 in the GNT said, then I asked how long a period. So this is Esdras asking the angel. Said, then I asked how long a period of time will divide the ages. When will the first age end? And Esau represents the first age. Okay? Him coming out first, you know, they're also representing his rulership being born into the earth first. Okay? Because, you know, as we're going to go into, they was both blessed with the fatness of the earth. Okay? But Esau will receive his first because it was going to be temporal. And it was going to be, all right, by the sword. Okay? So Esau represents the first age because he ruled as, you know, the Greeks and the Romans, all right, but he didn't have the fullness of the fatness of the earth, okay, during that time. But when he came back during the Renaissance, okay, he fulfilled that blessing of Isaac, okay, which was the dew of heaven, which is the possession of the earth, okay, and the fatness of the earth, which is the plush part, okay, and he will dominate the earth through the sword. Okay? So Esau's rulership was born into the earth first. You see? He represents this first age. It said, when will the first age end and the next age, which is the age of Jacob, begin? It says, he answered, the interval will be no longer than that between Abraham, all right, and Abraham. All right, so it's not going to be a break. Okay, the interval. It's going to be a transition. That's why right now we in the transition of kingdoms. Okay. So as Esau was being born, okay, Jacob's hand held his heel. So there was no gaps. You know, some twins, might be born, 2 minutes apart. Okay, 10 minutes, some maybe even an hour, one come out an hour later. Okay, but when Jacob and Esau, Jacob, okay, was holding Esau's heel, so there was no gap, and they represented the transition of kingdoms, okay, that we're seeing happening now. Okay, as Esau is at the end of his kingdom, okay, guess what? We're, all right, building our kingdom. The Lord is building up, raising up the house of David as the house of Edom is falling. Okay, so it's simultaneously, man. Okay, it says, when will the first age end and the next age begin? He answered, the interval will be no longer than that between Abraham and Abraham. He was the grandfather of both Jacob and Esau, and when they were born, Jacob was holding Esau's heel. Okay, Esau represents the end of this age, and Jacob represents the beginning of a new age. Okay, you see that? So Esau represents the end of this age. Okay, so letting you know that the so-called white man is Esau Edom, because why would the Lord raise up the prophets and begin to, all right, establish the house of David, all right, to build this spiritual house of David? Okay, at the same time, Esau is getting ready to go to war with the nations. Okay, even at war with himself. Okay, all these nuclear, warheads are active and ready to go. Okay, why would all this be happening if this isn't Esau's end? If this isn't the end of Esau's age? Okay, so let you know that the so-called white man is Esau. But you got to be in the spirit to see these things, man. Okay, because you got Jake talking about Esau is Japheth, and Ishmael, the Arabs are Esau. No, man. Okay, that doesn't align with these prophecies, man. Okay, and we can clearly see these things. All right, so let's go back, all right, to the story. It's Genesis 25 and 26, and it says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Okay, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Okay, and you go into Esau being a cunning hunter. Yes, he's skillful in the field. He's able to go hunt, game, prey. Okay, but it goes beyond him being a deer hunter. Okay, this man knows how to trap the souls of men. Okay, he's very cunning in how he hunts the souls and the spirits of men, going back into how our people are enchanted, and we was enchanted. Okay, we was in those snares and traps. That's why Yahushua say, what? You should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Free from what? The snares and traps of the devil. Okay, we was entrapped in trying to be a street nigga, trying to be, okay, a dope boy. We was entrapped in their way of thinking. We was entrapped in Christianity, being simps or whatever you can be into in this society is all a trap. Okay, the women are, a lot of our women, entrapped into being independent. That's a snare. It's a trap. Okay, that was set by the enemy. Okay, to be promiscuous, to to that feminine spirit. That was all a trap. That was a snare laid by Esau, Edom, the cunning hunter. See, you gotta really be in the spirit and understand these things. What's being said here, man? Okay, this is a heavy account. Let's go here. Let's go to Psalms 10. Okay, Psalms 10 and 4 says, the wicked, which we know the wicked is who? Esau, Edom, through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. And this how the devil operates. Remember, this how he's fashioned. Okay, two manner of people. Okay, because one thing about it now, like I say, this generation is cooked. That's why, brother, IURC talking about the community. The community is cooked. Because even in our ignorance, like I said, you go back in the day, our people always had some type of reverence for Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Even when it was in our ignorance, we had a reverence for God. Okay? One thing about our people is we was always a very spiritual people, even if we didn't have the knowledge to go with it. The scriptures say we had a zeal, but not according to knowledge, because we was always attached to this book and to having faith. Okay, but Esau, Edom, he's not built like that, man. Two manner of people. Okay, and it says, I wanna jump to here. All right, this is Psalms 10 and 8. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places or the villages, in the secret places, though he murdered the innocent, his eyes are privily set against the poor. Okay, and the poor represents Israel. Okay, because at the end of the day, Esau will try to include, make it seem like our people are included in his wealth, but nah, man. Ultimately, we're the poor. Okay, and not only poor, financially compared to the devil, but poor when it comes to power, which makes us helpless, man. Because if someone is poor, all right, they find themselves in a lot of helpless situations, man, because they don't have the resources. And power is a resource. Okay, so this devil, okay, say he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places, though he murder the innocent. Now, how is this man doing this, man? Through enchantments. Okay? Because we didn't know that we was being programmed to destroy ourselves, to self-destruct. Okay? We thought when we looked at, these entertainers, and, we thought these were jakes that was, coming out of the struggle based off their talents. We looked at these entertainers and rappers and, Hollywood. We looked at these people as success stories. Okay, but there was Esau enchant us to self-destroy ourselves, man. Okay, and he was doing it privately, man. These things wasn't being put out in the open. That this man was having counsels on how to enchant us, all right, into this death culture, man. It says he lieth and wait secretly as a lion in his den, and it's going into a hunter. Okay, so this man has been behind the scenes, okay, just setting up all these different snares, okay, for Jake to destroy themselves, man. It says he lieth and wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Okay, so going back to Esau being a cunning hunter, all right, he has drawn our people into a net. Okay, and you go into this word net, which is Rashath. Okay, which it says of leaders. You see this? Of leaders leading people to sin is a trap for man. And this man has set up leaders that look like us. They have, because the leader itself is a trap. Okay? Like I say, he glorifies, pimps, gangsters, and thugs. Okay? Those were traps. Okay? And as you mimic that behavior, you're falling into that trap. Okay? The independent, the hot girl, the the feminist, the boss diva, and all these different things. Well, you mimic that and you fall into that trap. Okay? So when you say this man is a cunning hunter, okay, it goes beyond, all right, him, shooting a deer from 100 yards out. Okay? This man hunts the souls of men, and his main catch is Jake. That's his prize catch, is catching Jake. Okay, that's why he puts emphasis on Jake selling out and Jake being lewd, Jake putting on the dresses and all these things, man. Because that's his prize catch. Okay? And it says, back in Genesis 25. All right, Genesis 25 and 27. Okay. So you go back in Genesis 25 and 27, it says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, an outdoorsman. They let you know that he was always into some shit. Okay, there ain't no telling what Esau was doing back then when he was out in the field, tampering with things. Okay, and that's why, hey, Rebecca, ain't no telling what she's saying. It's just me speaking as a man, scrappy lady. Okay, and she looking at this nigga, she like, hell no, this nigga cannot get the birthright. She put a play together for Jacob. Okay, but this man was a man of the field. He was an outdoorsman, but there's no telling what this nigga was up to out there, man. Okay, and it says, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Okay, all right, and you said when you go into it, we say Jacob was dwelling in tents. All right, because Isaac, had enterprise, because you go into Genesis, I want to say this chapter. All right, but Isaac, just to go into the history real quick. Now it might be because Isaac pretty much had an enterprise. Okay. Now when you go, all right, Isaac, and this is Genesis 26 and 12, and then Isaac sold in the land and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. All right, he became reading in verse 26 in the 13 in the NLT, Genesis 26 and 13 in the NLT. He became a very rich man, and his wealth continued to grow. He acquired so many flocks of sheep and goats, herds and cattle and servants that the Philistines became jealous of him. So Isaac had an enterprise, man. Okay, so when you go into Jacob and Esau, okay, they was something like princess, man. Okay, because Jacob had a great enterprise. Isaac had a great enterprise. So when it said Jacob was dwelling in tents, Jacob was doing a lot of administration work for Isaac, man. Okay, he wasn't just in there burning incense. All right, playing the harp. Okay, like he was some Rastafarian. Nah, man, he was managing a lot of the affairs of Isaac. Okay, while Esau was out and tampering, and telling him what this nigga was doing, man. Okay, so reading on, and it says, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of the venison. Okay, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same bread pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Okay, so here it is. Esau comes in from hunting, and I guess he didn't catch anything, Jacob was already, cooking, preparing, a meal. Okay, and Esau came in starving. You know, he wanted, what Jacob was cooking, and it shows, the impatience of Esau as well. Okay, and Jacob said, now listen to this. Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." Okay, now when you go into, all right, birthright, because that's why I looked up that word, primogeniture. Okay, it said birthright, um, primogeniture, right of the firstborn. So Esau knows what he's about to sell. Okay, Esau the first sellout. Okay, and he sold everything for a meal, just like he gets Jake to sell, his soul. Okay, Jake gives up his crown in the kingdom to come. Okay, for what? A temporary blessing. Esau sold an eternal birthright. Okay, for a temporary meal, for instant gratification, a meal. Okay, and that's the spirit that he puts on our people. When they sell out. Okay, he says, and Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And this is just a fair business deal. Okay, this is a business. Well, it's not fair. All right, Jacob got out, but Esau agreed to it. Okay, and it was all set up in the spirit anyway. The birthright belonged to Jacob anyway. Okay, you read this in NLT, Genesis 25:31. It says, "All right," Jacob replied, "but trade me your rights as the firstborn son." Okay, and Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?" Okay, showing you that, hey, he didn't have any faith. All right, the birthright wasn't a thing of value to him at the time. Okay, and Jacob said, "Swear to me this day," and he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. So, you go into Genesis 27, and you go into how, Rebecca and Jacob, put a play together to make sure that Isaac, would sell Jacob. Okay, well, Isaac would bless Jacob with the blessings and the rights of the firstborn. Okay, you have a Christian pastor say, they make it like if Jacob was the villain. Okay, but they never go into Esau outright selling his birthright to Jacob. Okay, and really Esau was on some underhand. He thought he was going to double back and still come and get the birthright anyway, knowing that he sold the birthright. Okay, which we're going to get into it. Okay, he knowing he sold the birthright, and he, is going to try to double back and still get the birthright as if he didn't sell it. Okay, so he swear. He says, and Jacob said, "Swear to me this day," and he swear unto him. Okay, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Let's read this in the NLT. But Jacob said, "First you must swear that your birthright is mine." So Esau swore an oath, thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn to his brother Jacob. Okay, Esau sold it outright. He confessed. Okay, this was a verbal agreement. This was a verbal contract between two brothers. Okay, so Esau, not only did he sell the birthright, but he sold out all his descendants. You Edomites are done based because of what your forefather did. Okay, we, all right, are children of the promise based on what our forefather did, man. Okay, which it was all set up in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. It was all his will, which we're going to get into that. Okay, so Jacob put on for the nation, man. All right, and Yahweh Shai, what he did, he came and reestablished that, man, through his sacrifice, that inheritance, man. Okay, it makes sense. Go, matter of fact, let's just link it real quick. All right, this is the book of Romans 15. All right, and 8. All right, this Romans 15 and 8. It says, "Now I say that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach was a minister of the circumcision for the truth of the Most High, to confirm the promises made unto our fathers. Okay, let's get this in the NLT. Remember that Yahushua came as a servant to the Jews, okay, to the circumcision first. All right, then he sent forth, because the apostles goes to send forth, and mainly the apostle Paul. All right, but it was Peter, their first, witness unto Cornelius. Okay, but then Apostle Paul was sent forth unto the Israelite foreigners to bring them into this inheritance, man. Okay, and it all stems back to what we're reading in Genesis, man, to show that the Most High is true to the promise He made to their ancestors. Okay, to our descendants. Okay, so Yahushua came to reaffirm, all right, the promises which, hey, Jacob secured the bag, man. Our people, Jake like to talk about securing the bag. Well, nobody secured the bag, like Yahushua and Jacob, all right, which is you can receive, those are the first two, those, are the two elder spirits, Yahushua being the firstborn, and under him King David, which was Jacob. If you can receive it, scriptures always go into what the house of David, all right, the house of Israel, house of Jacob. Okay, hey, well, hey, our forefathers, Yahushua being the chief. Okay, they secured the bag. What Yahushua did on the cross, he secured that bag, that inheritance, man. All right, which we're gonna get into that word. Yep. So let's finish this. And it says, then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil soup. Esau ate the meal, then got up and left. He showed contempt for his rights as the firstborn. Okay. He showed contempt. He didn't see any value, okay, in their birthright. All right. Going back, all right, to that word in the Hebrew is bakar. All right. Bakar. Bakar Hara, okay, which is going back to this word primogeniture. Now let's get this word primogeniture, and we're gonna get more into it. Okay. Now primogeniture is a system of inheritance in which a person's property passes to their firstborn legitimate child upon their death. The term comes from the Latin primo, which means first, okay, and geniture, and we're gonna remember that word first, and geniture, which relates to a person's birth. Historically, primogeniture favored male heirs, also called male preference primogeniture. Under this regime, the eldest living son would inherit the entirety of his parents' estate. Okay, so this is the patriarch in which we operated under as Israelites. Okay, and he got more, Esau switched things up, and it also goes into the daughter. If there was no sons, the daughter would inherit. That's where you get that term heir. You got heir and heiries. Okay, which is a feminine way of saying, inheritor. Okay, and that's why you had that account, all right, amongst, their family of Manasseh that only had daughters. Okay, and well, if you only have daughters, okay, then your daughters can only marry within the tribe. So that inheritance will stay within the tribes. That way, no tribe would, begin to absorb the inheritance from other tribes. The inheritance will stay within the tribes. So their daughter would have to be married to a man of her tribe, so their inheritance will stay within their tribe. Okay? But this is how we operated. Okay, under the law was a primogeniture. Okay? And you go into the law of the firstborn. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 21 and 15. All right, Deuteronomy 21 and 15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be when he maketh his then it shall be when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he have, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. So if a man had two wives and he had, one wife that he favored above the other, okay, where he, you know, couldn't make the the son of the favorite, all right, be the firstborn, okay. It was based on who was the actual firstborn. So if his firstborn came from the wife that was not, his favorite wife, then uh that child still would get the rights of the firstborn, you know. So that shows you that we moved out the progeniture, you know. It always went to the firstborn, okay. So emotions had nothing to do with it, Jake. Be emotional. He be have his favorites. Okay. Well, now, man, it was set in stone that the firstborn was the firstborn. Okay. Now you had instances, okay, when the Lord will intervene, as we're going to see with Jacob and Esau. Okay. First Esau sold his birthright, and then the Lord intervened. All right, put the spirit on Rebekah to pull a play, okay, with Jacob to get that right, that birthright, which was in the spirit. It was Jacob's in the spirit. In the flesh, according to this law, the birthright, all right, did belong to Esau, okay. But first he sold it, and then the Lord allowed Rebekah and Jacob to execute, all right, and receive their birthright, man. Okay, so verse 17 says, but he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he have, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. Okay, and you got to understand that Isaac understood that law. Okay, because you go into let's see, I think that's 40. Is it 44? Yep. This is Sirach 44 and 18. It says, or 19 says, Abraham was a great father of many people, and in glory there was none like him, who kept the law of the Most High. So Abraham knew about this law. So if Abraham knew about it, Isaac knew about that law. Okay? But it was set up. The true firstborn was always Jacob. It says Abraham was a great father of many people in glory, and there was none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High, and was in covenant with him, and he established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Okay? So when he was proved, he was found faithful. Okay? It was, he was willing to sacrifice Isaac, and that's really, when the Lord established a covenant with Abraham, when he showed faith. He knew about the law. He was keeping the law. He wasn't perfect in the law, but he was keeping the law good. Okay, he was pleasing unto the Most High. But what made him all right, be favored of the Most High is when he showed that faith, in which we're going to have to show faith. Okay, and what did Abraham get? What did that birthright entail? We always get it as of late. All right, but it's heavy. This is the book of Romans chapter 4, verse 13. We're gonna read in the NLT. All right. It says clearly God's promise to give the whole earth to Abraham and his descendants was not based on his obedience to God's law, but on the right relationship with God that comes from faith. So what was included in their promise was to give Abraham the whole earth and his descendants, all right, through Isaac and through Jacob. Okay? Esau was disinherited. Okay, he was put to the side. He's a bastard. He's considered a bastard. Okay, he has no inheritance rights amongst the lineage of the sons of God. Okay? And so the Jacob, okay, received, all right, the birthright of the firstborn. You see? So let's go here back to Genesis. Okay, and then we're gonna show how it was always set up for Jacob anyway. All right, this is Genesis 27. All right, let's get the account. All right, we started at 1. We just reading to it. All right. All right, this is Jacob's deception. All right, and it says, and it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes, all right, were dim, so that he could not see. He called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am. And he said, behold, I am now old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out in the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speaking to Esau thy brother. So Rebekah, Spirit had her eavesdropping. I was like, Rebekah, she done seen some things with this nigga Esau. She like, hell no. All right. So she's going to get Jacob. Okay. Bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may bless and eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Okay. So, and remember, Esau had already sold the birthright. Now, why didn't Esau let Isaac know that he sold his birthright? So, you can villainize Jacob. You look at it on a carnal level. Jacob seemed like he's the villain, but wait a minute. Why didn't Esau let Isaac know the deal that he made with his brother? That he sold his birthright for a meal. Okay? It says, now therefore, this is Rebekah speaking, now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I commanded thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go fetch, all right, me them. So Rebekah already had a play put together. The Lord put his spirit on Rebekah already. She like, look, man, just go do what I say, man. Don't worry about that part. I got you there. I know you're there, man. Go Do what I say. All right. And it says, and he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob. Okay, and it says, she took him goodly raiment, which lets you know they was well off. Okay, so Esau really, he didn't even have to. He just wanted what he wanted right then. You know, he had plenty, even though he didn't catch nothing hunted. There was plenty food and storage he could have got. All right, he could have fasted a little while. You know, prepared a meal and been good. You know, but he wanted what he wanted right then. Okay, and he got Yaquab. All right, now he's going to get Yaquab again. Okay, it says, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son, and she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hand and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy power brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac and his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are the hands of Esau. All right, so here it is. Isaac is like, you came back fast. You sound like Jacob, but you feel like Esau. Okay? So you have to see, like, well, why Isaac isn't making father inquisition? Why, because it's all set up in the spirit. All right? All these red flags, and Isaac still, all right, is going to go forth with the blessing, man. Okay, because it was all set up in the spirit, man. All right, and he it says verse 23, and he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother's Esau's hands, so he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of earth, and plenty of corn and wine, all right, that's the entire earth, which was given to Abraham. Clearly the Most High gave Abraham the whole world and his descendants. Okay? And this is that blessing that was given to Abraham that's being passed down. Okay? The fatness of the earth, the plush parts of the earth. And that's why, there's always been wars about the land of Israel, because that's the center of the earth. Okay? That's the gateway of the earth. That's the capital of the earth. And when it was in its glory, there was a plush land full of resources, man. Okay, and it's set up for everything to flow into Israel, that land. All right, that's why you can get to Israel from any part of the earth, because it was set up, all right, for things to flow unto, okay, that land. All right, yeah, that land was meant for the world rulers. Okay. And it says, in plenty of corn and wine, the resources, let people serve thee, slaves, servants, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and thy mother's son bow to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed, all right, be he that blessed thee. Okay, so Jacob received everything. Okay, and it was rightfully so. You see? Because he was the firstborn, all right, always in the spirit. So let's prove that. Okay? Let's go to the book of Sirach 36. Okay? Now as you go through this prayer, which we went over this the other day, all right, as we refer to this as the prophet's prayer. I refer to it as a prophet's prayer. All right. When you go into it, I started 7. All right. Sirach 36:7 said, "Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy." All right. And who's the enemy? Esau, Edom. Okay. He's an enemy to righteousness. He's an enemy to life. Okay. Which we represent. Okay. So our forefather is praying for indignation of the Lord's righteous anger, to pour out upon the enemy, man, upon Esau, man. Going back to their rivalry between a good and evil. Okay? The godly and the sinner. The sons of God, the sons of the wicked. It says, "Sake the time short, remember the covenant." The covenant who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. "And let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire. And let them perish that oppress the people. Smiting asunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen." And this is who's the head heathen? Esau, Edom. Okay, and who's the head of Esau, Edom? Amalek, man. Okay, Amalek is the head of the snake, of this serpent, man. Okay, of this beast system. "Gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit," okay, "inherit thou them from the beginning, O Lord." And how we're being gathered? By this word. We're being gathered back to this inheritance, man, to this promise. Okay, it says, "O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn." Okay? You see that? Whom thou hast named thy firstborn. So it was always set up, okay, that Israel, okay, was the firstborn, because it was the firstborn in the spirit. Okay? And just like the brother Elder Kazak said, Rebecca had faith, man. Yeah, she put on. Our foremother, she put on. And that's whom the Lord is dealing with, man. Women who really believe this thing, who's putting on for the nation, man. In righteousness and humility, man. Just to put that out there, man. Alright, you regular assholes with these head wraps and still talking shit and still think you got some type of authority and how you think you gonna referee how things should go, man. You just finna be left here, man. Okay? But women like Rebecca, man, in their spirit of putting on and going all out, for the sons of God, that's what the Lord is dealing with, man. Alright? Just to put that out there. Okay? So let's go here. It says, "Israel, all right, my firstborn." All right, and he said that again. It was always set up, even you go to Exodus. All right, we're gonna go to the root of this. This is because remember, we're gonna deal with that word first. Okay, Exodus 4. This is a spiritual thing. Exodus 4:21, it says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, When thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all these wonders before Pharaoh, when I have put in thy hand, all right, which I have put in thy hand, but I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus said the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn." Okay? So the Lord, all right, this is after Genesis. So if the Lord had a problem, okay, with what happened in Genesis 27, why would he be referring to Israel his firstborn? Okay, because in the spirit we was first. Okay, and so again, the Lord was constantly dealing with Jacob. All right, this is Genesis 35, and this is after. Okay, Jacob got the birthright. Okay, he supplanted Esau. So if the Lord was against this, why did he never address Jacob for getting their birthright, how he got it? Okay, it's never addressed in the scriptures. Okay, it's only constantly reaffirmed. Okay, this is Genesis 35 and 10. It says, and Jacob said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. So he pretty much gave Jacob a title. Okay, because when the king will give you a certain rank, he will give you a title. You know, you might just be a commoner. You know, you might just be a ship merchant. Okay, and you come into favor with the king, and he'll give you a title. He'll make you a baron. He'll make you a earl, okay, or a lord or a duke. Okay, he will give you a title. Now you say your name was, Jason. Okay, he'll give you a title. You'll be, Earl Jason. Okay, all right, Jason the Baron. Jason the Duke. He gives you a title, and that title will come with different perks and revenues, and different authorities. It will come with responsibility as well. Okay, so this is pretty much the Heavenly Father giving Jacob a title. Okay, and guess what? Your descendants, your sons inherit your title. We're the sons of God. Okay, he's making Jacob. He changed his name to Israel. Yasharallah, he Prince of the Power, a son of God. Okay, so we're born into these titles, man, as Israelites. Okay, this is way bigger than a goddamn high school diploma, man. Okay, niggas boasting in, we got people graduating. We getting people married. Okay, we giving back to the community, man. This is way bigger than that, man. Okay, a goddamn bachelor's degree at a junior college. Which, okay, it's cool, it's cute, take pictures, But nah, man, what we've come back into as Israelites is we've inherited those titles, man. Okay, that was given to our forefathers. Okay, this is Genesis 35 and 11. And the Most High said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings, okay, shall come out of thy loins, and kings shall come out of thy loins. So wait a minute. The Lord is doubling down on the blessing. Not only is he cool with Jacob getting the blessing of the firstborn, but he's doubling down on it. Now he's putting more emphasis on, like, look, your name Israel now, Yasharallah. Okay? And kings are going to come from your loins. You're going to be a dynasty in the earth. Okay? And this is what we've come back into, is we waking up to who we are, man. Not putting fringes on everything. If you got fringes on all your clothes, cool. But that's not nothing to boast in. This is what we're looking forward to, man. Okay? Inheriting the earth. Okay? So let's go back. Because I say it was always set up for, Israel was always the firstborn. Now, let's go here to the book of Proverbs, the 8th chapter. Okay? And this goes back to the beginning. Now, this is King Solomon speaking in the spirit, but this going back to, you have to be spiritual to discern these things. Okay? So this is the flesh of King Solomon, but what spirit? This is Yahweh Shai, the first spirit, all right, brought forth. The only spirit brought forth directly by the Father. Okay, so he's pretty much reminiscing. The spirit that's in King Solomon, which is Yahweh Shai, he's reminiscing back to the beginning, his beginning. Okay, Proverbs 8 and 23, it says, I was set up from everlasting. Okay, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. Okay? You read in the NLT, I was appointed in ages past at the very first. Okay? Before the earth began. So now we start to get into why Israel is considered the firstborn. Because you go into this word, okay, the beginning, okay, and the Hebrew word, which is Ra'ash, okay, which goes into what? The head, the top, the summit, okay, the chief, the beginning, okay, the chief, the head, all right, of man, a city, a nation, a place, a family, a priest, the front from the beginning, okay, and this is coming from the firstborn, Yahweh Shai, the firstborn spirit. Okay, it says, I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning of the earth. I said, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there was no depths, I was brought forth. When there was no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was, I was brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the water should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundation of the earth, then I was by him as one brought up with him. So this is, the relationship that the Heavenly Father is having with Yahweh Shai, his firstborn. Okay? Because even when you go on the carnal level, let's say, okay, you're the firstborn, okay? And then, 4 years later, you have another sibling, you have another little brother, okay? Then, 8 years later, you have another little brother. Well, there was a time when it was just you and your parents. Okay, that's why the firstborn would have experiences and memories that the other children wouldn't have, because they wasn't there. Okay, they wasn't on the scene. So it was a time when it was just the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai. Okay, so there's certain experiences and things that Yahweh Shai has that no one else has, that no other spirit has, man. There's certain teachings and things shown unto Yahweh Shai that no one else has. Okay? That's why he has that preeminence. Okay? And the Heavenly Father set it up that way. Okay? It says, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing, okay, in the habitable parts of his earth, and my delight were with the sons of men, and that goes into those first fruits. Okay, that goes into the 144,000. All right, those Israelite men, 12,000 from each tribe. So those spirits was brought forth. It was a time when it was the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai, and there was a time when it was the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, and those first fruits. So when the scriptures speak about Israel being my firstborn, it's talking about in the spirit. Okay, and let's keep proving it, man. Let's go to Genesis. Okay, so you go to Genesis. In the beginning, okay, the Elohim created the heaven and earth. So when you read this on the surface level, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, you think it's speaking of the Most High. Okay, but when you go into these words, first, let's go into to God, which is Elohim. All right, Elohim was just plural, because Allah is God, and Yum make it plural. All right, so Elohim was a rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods in the lowercase. Okay, So it wasn't the Most High himself. It was his sons creating everything, headed by Yahushua. Okay? So it says back to this word beginning, all right, which is Ra'ah Shayath. Ra'ah Shayath. And what does it say? First, beginning, best, chief, first. Okay? Beginning, chief, first fruits, in place, in time, in order, or rank. Okay? So Israel was always first. Okay? This is Yahweh Shai and the first fruits, 144,000. Okay? So the rightful heirs in the spirit was always, all right, Yahweh Shai and those first fruits, those 12,000 men that would come through the lineage of Israel. Those 12,000 men from each tribe that will come through the lineage of Israel. Yahweh Shai came through the lineage of Israel, but it was always set up. Okay? He was already set up from the beginning, before it was a tribe. Okay? Before it was a nation of Israel, those spirits was already the first fruits, man. Okay? So that's why you can go to Psalms, the 2nd chapter, and it goes back to the plot, okay, between Jacob and Esau. It goes back to this war between Jacob and Esau. All right? And let's just read it real quick. Psalms 2:1. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? And who's the head of the heathen? Esau, Edom. And what's his main rage? He's want to get back their birthright. Okay? The kings of the earth set themselves, and rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, who's the anointed? Jacob. The godly is set against the sinner. Good is set against evil. One against another. These other nations, they're just casualties in this thing, man. They're just extras. Because it's Esau that's leading the charge of this NWO, man. Okay? These heathens, they just caught in the mix. Okay? But the conflict is between Jacob and Esau. Verse 3. Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Alright? And you read this in verse 3 in the NLT. It said, let us break their chains, they cry, and free ourselves from slavery to the Most High. And they look at righteousness as being enslaved into the Most High. Okay? And he wants to establish an eternal kingdom, okay, through his technology and wickedness, where he sets the standard. Okay? Where he is the creator. He, this is what this man is on the quest to do. Okay? Verse 4 says, but the one who rules in heaven laughs, the Lord scoffs at them, man. Okay, so the Lord is seeing these devils and what they're doing, and it's a joke to him because he already know what he established from the beginning. And this is why these things are playing out, how they're playing out, man. Okay? Esau is in the midst of an overthrow. Okay, and everything that he's doing to keep himself in power is removing himself from power, man. Verse 5, it says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet, all right, and that's going to be him causing this third world's war. All right, and it's going to be ultimately him sending his son Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is coming back with all the wrath of the Father. Okay, and that's going to be the grand finale of Jacob removing Esau from power. Because right now our hand is on his heel. But when Yahweh Shai comes, that's going to be that great yanking away from power. As Yahweh Shai said, he seen Satan, all right, fall from heaven like lightning, which is quickly. Okay, which the adversary Esau Edom fall from his rulership like lightning. Okay, and it said, yet have I set my holy king upon my hill of Zion, the firstborn. Okay, Yahweh Shai, he's the inheritor of everything. Okay, the estates of his father, which is existence. Okay, beginning with the planet Earth. Yahweh Shai is going to inherit everything of the firstborn. Okay, and Lord willing, we're joint heirs with him. Okay, so I will declare the decree the Lord have said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me. So this is when Yahweh Shah was brought forth. We go back to Proverbs 8. Okay, let's read that just to refresh on it. Proverbs 8 and 23. This is what we're seeing in Psalms 2 and 7. All right. Proverbs 8 and 23. It says, I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. So you read this in Psalms 2. Okay. And 7 it says, I will declare the decree. Because what? Yahweh Shah was spoken into existence by the Father. The Lord have said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Okay? So this was Yahweh Shah was brought forth. It says, Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. And that's the same blessing that was passed to Jacob. Okay, then Jacob what? Get the dew of heaven, the fatness of the earth. Okay, the same blessing that was given unto Jacob, Yahweh Shai had got this in the beginning. Okay, so that's why the Lord didn't intervene with that situation between Jacob and Esau, because the Lord wanted to play out exactly like that. And he wanted Esau to be big mad. Okay, Esau was in the trap. You know, he's a cunning hunter of souls. But guess what? The Most High got Esau in the trap. He wants him to be big mad and try to, bully the birthright and make his own birthright. He wants him to do that. Okay? It's all written in the script. You see? So it says, matter of fact, just to prove it, let's go back to Sirach 44 and just read down. Sirach 44:19. Abraham was a great father of many people, and glory was there none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High, and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Therefore he assured him by an oath that he will bless the nations in his seed, and that he will multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea. Okay, what did we just read in Psalms 2 and 2? Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for an inheritance. What was told to Jacob? Nations shall serve thee, thy brothers shall bow down to thee. Okay? It says, therefore he assured him with the oath that he will bless the nations in his seed, which are the tribes, and that he will multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt him as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from river, all right, unto the uttermost part of the land. With Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham's father's sake the blessing of all men and the covenant, and made it rest upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessing, and gave him a heritage, and divided his portions among the 12 tribes. Did he part them? Okay, so what we're seeing playing out in the earth played out in the heavens first. Okay, Yahweh Shah was brought forth, the firstborn. Okay, Yahweh Shah brought forth those first fruit spirits, those joint heirs. Okay, then the rest of Israel, the spirits of Israel was created. Then the other spirits of the other nations was created, man. Okay, so who's the firstborn in the spirit? Israel, beginning with Yahweh Shai and the first fruits. Everything is coming full circle. That's why you can go to this in Psalms and link it over Revelation. Psalms 2 and 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, and thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. So you can go here to Revelation and show you that we're coming into that inheritance that was given to Yahweh Shai from the beginning. Okay? Alright? This is way deeper than a free haircut. Alright? In the backpack giveaway, man. What? Oh boy, this Revelation 2:25, it says, but that which you have already, hold fast till I come. And see, as we read these things and we digesting this word, we got to hold fast to this narrative, man. Because hey, we can be homeless, but guess what? We got to believe the same thing that we're believing right here, right now. We got to hold fast to that same belief. We can be in the wilderness, we can be in the concentration camp, okay? We could be, don't tell them where we might end up following Yahweh Shai. Because scripture say through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom, all right, which is this inheritance, man. Okay, but through it all, we got to hold fast until Yahweh Shai physically comes back, man. Okay, it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Wasn't Jacob given power over the nations? All right. Let's just prove it. Go back to the blessing, man. It's the show. Let's go into the words. Okay. Well, what did it say? See, when you read through contracts, when you have lawyers and, different, legal specialists, reading through certain wills and contracts, they go into the verbiage used. You might have a dispute over inheritance where they go into what the verbiage that's being used in the contract. All right. And this Bible is a contract of inheritance, man. The Bible contains everything, man. All right, Genesis 27 and 24, it says, therefore the Most High give thee the dew of heaven, okay, from sea to sea, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee. Wait a minute. Let's go into the word serve, all right, which is abide. All right. Abide is to work, to serve, to labor, to work, to do work, to work for another, to serve another by labor. Okay? So it said, let nations, let people, all right? Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Okay? So when you read that, what did this line up with? Going back to Revelation 2 and 26. Revelation 2 and 26. And it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Let's read this in the NLT. To all who are victorious, who obey me to the very end, to them will I give authority over all nations. Okay? So the same thing that was promised unto Jacob, Yahweh Shai had received there from the beginning. Okay? Verse 27, it says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father, which is the same thing said in Psalms 2 and 9. All right, and let's just read it to prove it, man. I just like to prove it. All right, Psalms 2 and 9. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessels. Okay, and when he said this in Revelation, okay, when he said this in Revelation, where did he say he received that authority from? Where did he receive the authority to give us authority over the nation? Okay, verse 27, he says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. Okay, even as I received of my father, man. So the firstborn blessing rested on Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to divide their blessings, all right, amongst, okay, the tribes. All right, beginning with those first fruits, 12,000 men from each tribe. And this is a part of why Yahweh Shai took the chastisement. Yahweh Shai, he took the chastisement because he knew what it would lead to. this will put him in a position, to inherit, you know, the firstborn blessings, and to also distribute that blessing amongst, his brethren. All right. As Isaiah 53:4 says, surely he hath borne our griefs, and carried our sorrows, yet did we esteem him stricken, smitten of the Most High, and afflicted. And what we also know about the firstborn, especially you brothers, even you sisters, all right, you the firstborn, you know that your parents always had, higher expectations of you, than of your siblings, and you will always have to take the brunt of your parents' wrath, their frustration, you will have to take the brunt of it. Okay, and Yahweh Shai, was no different. He had to take the brunt of the Lord's wrath, for our behalf. Okay, so this is Isaiah 53:5 said, but he was wounded for our transgression, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. And Yahweh Shai created a grace period, all right, through his sacrifice, through him taking the chastisement, for himself first, and then for us, we have a grace period to where we can heal, and we can grow into being those joint heirs, man. We have a grace period to grow into becoming those judges, man, those righteous judges. Okay, as we was meant to be from the beginning. Okay, and it says, I'm gonna jump down. All right, this is I read this in the NLT, Isaiah 53:11. It says, when he sees all that is accomplished by his anguish, he shall be satisfied. The joy that was set before him, because he knew that this would put in motion, all right, his brethren, that was from the beginning, all right, coming back, into their glory, because what he did put himself back into the glory that he had at the beginning, as he prayed for in the book of John. Let's get it. Yeah, I ain't got a lot to do today, man. We gonna get into something, If you gotta leave, I understand, This is St. John 17, and I started at 4. It said, as Yahweh Shah praying to the Father, said, I have glorified thee on earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. Yahweh Shah came back on the mission. Okay? So now he's, petitioning to the Father. I put everything in place, that you told me to do. It says, and now, O Father, glorify thou me with thy own self. Okay? With the glory which I had from thee before the world was, going back to Genesis 8:23, Genesis 1:1. Okay? And now Yahweh Shai, as he sits on the right hand, he's back at that glory that he had from the beginning. And we're fighting to get back to our glory that we had from the beginning. Okay? And we're going to rule in that glory in the earth. Okay? This is way bigger than the fish plate, man. Okay? It's a mineral water, man. Alright? You see, we're going to rule with that glory we had from the beginning, man. Is that those first fruits, under Yahweh Shai. Alright? Now, let's go back to Isaiah. Alright, Isaiah. Alright, this is Isaiah 53:11. Says, when he sees all that is accomplished by his anguish, he will be satisfied, and because of his experience, my righteous servant will make it possible for many to be counted righteous, man, and that's the elect, for he will bear all their sins. Okay, read this in verse 12. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, those first fruits, man, and the rest of the elect, because he had poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered among the transgressors, and he bare the sins of many, and made intercession for the transgression, man. So Yahweh Shai is the firstborn, having the most responsibility. He fulfilled his duties, on the cross, and it pleased the Father. Okay? So the Heavenly Father gave him a portion, okay, of the firstborn, and he's going to divide the portion of the firstborn amongst, all right, his brethren. Okay? What did it say? In Matthew, I think that's John 15. Yep. This is John 15 and 27. It says, and ye shall bear witness, because you have been, okay, with me from the beginning. Now, they was with him from the beginning of the ministry, but they was also with him from the beginning, okay, of existence. You see? And this is why, brothers, are so in tune with the spirit of Yahweh Shai, because there's a great chance that we was with him from the beginning. Okay? And you go into that word beginning.
Strong's G 746. Arche. Arche.
Okay. It says beginning or origin. Hey, we go back with Yahweh Shai to his origin. We're of that those first fruits. We go back with Yahweh Shai to his origin, man. This is why we're so in tune and tapped into Yahweh Shai. Like, we hate that Jesus Christ, man. That's not our brother, man. We don't know that nigga Jesus Christ, man. Okay? That's why there's a disdain for that name, man. Alright? And it says, the person or thing that commences the first person or the thing in a series, the leader. Okay? The first place on principality, rule, magistrate of angels and demons. Going back to those angels from the beginning. Okay, so we was with Yahweh Shai, okay, in the beginning. And then you go here to this is Matthew 19 and 27 said, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? So Peter's asking, like, look, we forsaken everything, man. What are we gonna get? Like, he's inquiring. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, you shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so he's letting them know that, look, in the kingdom, all right, you're even going to have rank amongst Israel, because Israel is going to be a nation of rank. The whole nation is going to be highborn. Okay, but the men, okay, that are on the front line, on the trenches, like, y'all going to be even the upper echelon amongst Israel. Okay, it says, and everyone that have forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father, all right, or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive an hundredfold and shall inherit everlasting life. Okay, so Yahweh Shai, like, look, man, these little things, all right, your little whack ass life, that you so concerned about in this little one incarnation. Look, I'm gonna multiply all that. What you got, whatever you got, I'm gonna multiply it. I'm gonna keep multiplying. And I'm gonna give you eternal life so you can enjoy the abundance that I'm about to give you, man. Okay? You concerned about this little whack ass life you got. Okay? Well, I think Peter was a fisherman. Alright? Look, man. Alright? And really, y'all shy. Look, y'all ain't losing nothing, man. Like, Yahushua is only gain. Okay, with Esau is lost. To get, with Esau, with his so-called, blessing and prosperity is lost. Jake got to lose his manhood. Jake got to sacrifice, people literally. Jake got to, nah, man. All right, verse 30 says, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Going back to the firstborn. Right now, Esau, he's enjoying our inheritance, the earth. He's enjoying the inheritance of the firstborn. Okay? But nah, the Lord is finna script that from Esau and give it to the rightful rulers, man. Okay? Well, let's get this word first when we go into it. Protos. And guess what? Strong's. All right, G 4413, 144, 3 goes into understanding. All right, so the word proto goes what? First in time or place, which the all right, Yahushua, amongst the spirits created, he's the first. Okay, and amongst the nations created, the nation of Israel are the first spirits created, beginning with the first fruits. Okay, it says in any succession of things or persons, first in rank, influence, honor, chief, okay, principle, all right. And this is what we're going back to, man. All right. The place, all right, the foremost, the place, the order, or importance, okay. Before, beginning, or best. Because right now we're last. All right. And there's just something that we embrace, okay, in this rulership of being last. Because we know what's to come, and we know why we last, man. All right. Hey, we was bullshit. Okay. We fumbled. All right. We fumbled the rulership. Okay. All right. So I said we fumbled the rulership. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that's why I want to go to Job. But yeah, man, we fumbled the rulership, and we ended up being in last. All right, and the wicked, our arch rival Esau is the first. Okay, but there's going to be a reversal. Yahushua is coming. All right, to reverse that. Now you read this in Job just to show. All right, that this man, all right, is Esau is he's not true nobility, man. He's an imposter. Job 30:1 it says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have not disdained to have set by the dogs of my flock, because Esau is the original degenerate, man. Okay, if you go into this word younger, it might be this word. Yep, this word younger, which is sayar, okay, which means little, insignificant. Okay, insignificant, little, insignificant. Okay, so Esau, all right, and it goes to the word ignoble. Oh, that's what I want, ignoble. Let's get this word ignoble. Ignoble, it says not honorable in character or purpose. Okay, and this is describing Esau, dishonorable, unworthy, shameful, base, okay, corrupt, degraded, improper, okay, blameworthy, reprehensible, okay. So this is who's in power now. This is who's in that first position, but he's finna be last in captivity, man. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much the point, man. I'll get this in Romans 8. All right, Romans 8 and this is Romans 8 and 16. It said the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And if children, okay, so if we, this book relates to our spirit. Is why it doesn't matter how you look. If your spirit can absorb this book, this book is agreeable to your spirit. Hey, you're of that lineage, okay? You're of that lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And if you're of that lineage, what does that mean? You believe, you're of that lineage, and you believe, and you agree with this book, with this message. You believe in this kingdom that's promised to come. What does that make you? Verse 17. And if children, then heirs, heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Yahushua, the firstborn. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be glorified together. Okay? You see, so we're suffering, but we know we're coming into an inheritance, man. And that ease our suffering, man. Like we don't, when you really believe in this inheritance, man, you don't, you look at everything different. The suffering isn't so bad because we understand that we're closer and closer, and these prophecies are happening. We understand that this is ushering in our inheritance, man. It's eternal. Okay, so you begin not to trip on the things that you don't have. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the point, man. The why to you brothers tuning in. All right. Yeah. So yeah, we end it there. It's a heavy precept too. It's the brother Hebrews 4:12. It says, but thou Bethlehem, is Micah 5:2, but thou Bethlehem, Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be a ruler in Israel, whose going forth had been from old and from everlasting. Tough. Yep. So yeah, the why to you brothers, and to Cecil Rivera, you doing, I was looking at your questions, the whole lesson, and it was things that I was going into and was going to go into, but you spent a lot of time, questioning, trying to go back and forth. So I don't know if you sincere or not, you a scoffer, man, but you gotta learn to hold your peace, man. Y'all grown men, act like a goddamn woman, man. Your question just has to be heard. Your question or your comment is more important than everything. Nah, man, it don't work like that, man. Alright? Be a man, grow up. Okay, listen and learn. Okay, brothers doing videos every hour. Alright. Your questions, alright, will be answered. Everything you was asking, if you just listen, you could have got the understanding, man. Deal like men, man. Don't come in, boy, with that nigga woman energy, man. Okay, contentious and rebellion, against male authority, man. Alright? But that's the point, Lord will, you brothers, alright, and you sisters edify. Shalom.